centre. I want to catch up with One Nation leader Pauline Hanson now, who joins me from Queensland. Good to talk to you, Pauline. You would have been watching events in Canberra. Does the Immigration Minister Andrew Giles have to go, or should he be trusted to sort out this mess?
No, I can't trust him at all, and I believe he needs to go. Chris, over a period of time, I've actually worked around immigration ministers in my period of time that I've been in Parliament. He would be the worst one that I've ever come across, and
Hang on, you've had some duds. You've had some duds, Pauline. You've had Chris Bowen and God knows who else in that position. It's been shambolic, but you reckon Andrew Giles is the worst?
No, I said the ones that I've worked with, Chris. Right, I wasn't in Parliament when Chris Bowen was actually the Immigration Minister.
This was in your sojourn away from Parliament.
I'm saying the ones, that's right, the ones that I've actually worked with. But I don't have any confidence or trust in him whatsoever. We had a briefing in Parliament. I asked him a question. I wasn't happy with the answer that he gave me. What's happened now with the 149, Chris, what I've always stated from the very beginning is that NZYQ, the case was with regards to him. The High Court did not say they all had to be released at the one time, which the government did. Applications should have been put in to the High Court with regards to, and this is where legislation should have been worked out between the two major political parties on how best to deal with it. Of all these, you've got 26 mandatory requirements that is put on them, then the bridging visas, so that's another 4 requirements. Of the 149, 102 have all the requirements, so 26 mandatory requirements plus a 4. 30 have only the 26 mandatory requirements. 5 of them, 15 of them I should say, have only the 26 plus bits and pieces, and 1 was given his visa back completely on review of his case. Now, what I have said, this has set a precedent for those people who are coming in by plane. A lot of them come by plane, more than so by boat, and claim refugee status. If they have a criminal record, as the court said, the government cannot give punishment out. That means an indefinite period of time in the detention centres. That's where they've got to look at legislation, that they actually have to work with the court system to actually enforce it, that we can keep them in detention for the time needed, because
exactly this is what you've been saying for some time. To put a specific time frame on that.
Correct, right from the beginning.
Look, you're right in that background and how the government should have been onto this earlier, before the decision was even handed down, because they were warned they might lose this case. But then, belatedly, after they'd let everybody out, they did put in these new laws back in December, which gives them the right to try and have people re-detained for public safety. But have a look at what Andrew Giles said in Parliament yesterday. This was unbelievable when he was asked about how many applications have been made to get people back into detention.
We are preparing applications and we are making sure, as the evidence of Ms Sharp made clear in the Senate estimates yesterday, that we will do so properly.
Yeah, this is where I decided that there's no way knowing this guy can survive, Pauline, because 2 months on he's still preparing applications.
Chris, at the time of briefing, before the legislation went through, the questions that was asked of him, what authority did he have, and if these people were released, and how they were not compliant with the mandatory requirements. And he said, we actually have control to take it over and put him back into detention. Not one has been done. 6 of them have not complied with the mandatory requirements, and 18 have had sentences in state and territory governments. So they have done the wrong thing. Giles has done absolutely nothing about it. Not one application to gather them up, put them in detention. Not one.
Pathetic.
And they are controlled by the Greens. The Greens were the ones that actually threatened and did not vote for any of the amendments whatsoever. They put their amendments up. The Greens wanted to see all these people let out of detention. So I'd actually question why does the Labor Party have this stance on this? Because they need the support of the Greens in other legislation. It's a two-party. It's Labor, Greens government.
Indeed it is. Thanks for joining us, Pauline. Pauline Hanson there. And just a legal tidy-up on the run there. I think we're talking about 18 people there facing charges by state jurisdictions rather than having been sentenced by them. Still facing charges there. Got to get